Welcome to part two. I'm just waiting for Andy to join us. I do apologise for the swearing, but I don't really care. If you don't like it, don't watch. I'm not forcing you to watch, none of you. All right? You know what I mean? So, welcome back, Andy. Hope you're well.
Not bad. I'm just going to switch this heater off because I'm getting cooked in here.
Oh, we've got a bit of heat up there, have you, Andy? Spread it down here. We're meters gone. We need to put some 2 pences back in.
That's better. Once the shed heats up, it's heats up.
What's that say behind you, Andy? Albert the what?
Albert Lee.
Who's he like?
He's a guitarist. He's a fantastic guitarist, if you like. He's a real virtuoso. Like plays like rockabilly, country, old rock and roll stuff. He's about 80. I think he's just.
Max likes rockabilly music. You know, Max.
Is he like that? He'd love Albert Lee.
Max, isn't that right, Max? You love a bit of rockabilly. That's why you've got a rockabilly fringe.
He's got a quiff.
Clark versus Wardley. The aftermath. What do you think?
I think if anybody, I thought it was a great fight, brilliant fight. I thought Big Freeze was more skillful.
Yeah.
Wardley was all blood and guts, wasn't he? I think he actually, Big Freeze showed Wardley's level, where Wardley's level is, which was maybe just a wee bit below what I thought he was. I'm not sure if Wardley can actually get any better.
No.
That's my thought.
But up late, isn't it? It's a bit like Joshua, isn't he? He's never going to get that. He's never going to pick them little things up. You know, like when you're in a relationship with a woman, they say it's the little things that make the relationship last, don't they? Well, Fabio Wardley's not picked up the little things, has he, as a kid? It's a bit like being an opening batsman, isn't it? If you pick a bat up at 7, 8-year-old, by the time you're at Donny Town Nets at fucking 13-year-old, you've got 6 years schooling, aren't you? You can go in there and you can stand up against Yorkshire boys bowlers and ex-pros and that. And it's a bit like Wardley. He's only going to go so far. He's not going to be able to mix it with Big Lot because he's missed all the fundamentals, hasn't it? A bit like Joshua, he's still trying to pick up a few little bits here and there. Whereas if you look at, you like your Billy Joe Saunders and stuff like that, they've got all them little moves, haven't they?
Before the fight, I was kind of picking. I thought Wardley would maybe do him. I didn't think Big Freeze to me looked more polished, more skill set, and that was
Big Freeze won the fight, mate. End of. Big Freeze won.
Yeah,
it's Big Freeze. Well, lost. And do you know what? You've got a feel for Big Freeze. I know he's a bit of a jovial character and all that, but he thought he's out. But let me tell you this: he dug deep, collapsed, didn't leave no in ring. Let me tell you, I've got more respect for him than a lot of them now. Big Freeze were robbed, and he'll come get him. Wardley got lucky, and he knows he got lucky. Let me tell you, he was cut to ribbons. Big Freeze were putting it on him. Big Freeze has got a big heavy jab, hasn't he?
Yeah. I think he didn't have a bigger right hand or whatever, just a wee bit more. I think if he lost a stone, if he came in about 18 stone, he would be. I think he'd be more effective. I think his movement and that would be slightly better. Everything would just be slightly better. That's the feeling I get. But I like to see him come back and do well.
Well, listen, let me tell you this. Dylan White had a good going over by It's Big Freeze a couple of years ago, mate, when Big Freeze was still an amateur. He ran over him, mate. He ran over him in sparring. It's Big Freeze gave him a good working over, Dylan. Let me tell you. So I see them meeting down the line because that'd be easy fish. That'd be easy work for It's Big Freeze now, wouldn't he? White.
Yeah. I think so.
Hey?
Is any word who he's fighting next?
No, we're not really bothered about White. I'm a 4-time cheat. Why is he even in the sport? He should be in jail, shouldn't he, for what he's done?
Hey? Relevant. Yeah.
I know he's on the sport because he's got about 17 kids, hasn't he? But he's got kids all over the place, hasn't he? White. Do you know what I mean? That was his backup plan if his career didn't go fucking do well with boxing. He was going to go on social till he died. Moving on then from the adventures of Shite White. Sorry about that. Willie Hutchinson and what's he called? The guy he's fighting.
Spider Richards, is it?
Correct, yeah, Spider. Willie's now wank number 9 in world with WBO. How can that be? What has he won?
It just makes a mockery of the rankings, eh?
Number
I'm
9
not against
in world.
it's I'm not against Willie Hutchison, but it's not his fault. It's obviously it's the way it's done, isn't it? The way the rankings are compiled, or it's obviously just all wrong, isn't it?
All
Who's
right.
got the? I think you just told me before. That's way back. I wasn't actually aware of it. It's all to do with promoters lobbying for their fighter, isn't it? Who shouts the loudest, or who pays the money, or whatever. And that's not right. I mean, there should be one lot of rankings in my book. Right?
Joke, mate. An absolute joke. Do you think that Spider Richards beats Hutchinson? I do.
I think so. Yeah.
Too schooled, isn't he?
Late stoppage, maybe.
Hey,
Late stoppage. He's a good fighter, Richards, isn't he?
very good fighter. Very good fighter. You know, this Sean Porter carrying on, he's digging it out, saying he's no good and all that. I know you and that. I know I had a dig about the Americans and that, and I said, look, all they've ever given us is an hamburger, haven't they, really? But do you think that the American boxing is dying at the moment? Because I'm only seeing Crawford in top 5 for pound. Where's the big hitters?
Seems to be in. Jared Anderson was fighting at the weekend, but wasn't it? I think I watched some of that. Wasn't it? Wasn't it that great? It was a bit of a boring fight, I think, from what I remember. Well, I was in the middle of the night. I was watching it, so I was kind of nodding off a bit, but it didn't. There was no excitement, was there? No drama.
None at all, mate. Was there? None, absolutely none at all.
It was a guy who was fighting Dutch or something. I can't remember his name. I think he was Dutch.
Who?
The guy Jared Anderson was fighting.
Oh, I don't know, mate. Listen, mate. He needs to get a move on that Jared Anderson, or I'm gonna roast him on this channel, mate. I'm gonna roast him. He needs to get a move on. He's just fighting stiffs. Can't they get him some better fighters?
He needs to maybe needs to come over here and fight some of the heavyweights over here. Eh?
What do you think to Dubois against Ergovic?
That's a good fight, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you
Good
got
fight.
that?
You probably have Hergovich as a favourite, but Dubois got a big punch, yeah. So, and Dubois did well against Miller. Eh? He did better than I thought he would. So, he's maybe redeemed himself from his knee taking. Triple knee. Triple knee. Taking the knee.
Telling you. Shiraz against Austin Williams.
I don't know if I've seen Austin Williams fight. Shiraz is decent, but sorry.
Ammo Williams. Austin Williams. They call him Ammo Williams, don't they?
Right. Have you got Shiraz as a favourite in that?
Shiraz I've got on that one, have you?
Oh, I think so.
What about Ray Ford and Nick Ball? That's all right, isn't it?
I like Nick Ball. I'm a bit of a fan of Nick Ball. He's a proper old. He's like a mini Mike Tyson the way he comes forward and that, and he's all action, and he's got loads of energy. He's a good 12-round fighter, isn't he?
We like him, Bally, don't we?
I like him. I'll go with him. Yeah. I think he should have. Did he get a draw or something? Did he go? Was that a title fight?
Robbed, didn't he, Nick Ball? Didn't he?
Robbed, yeah. He should have won that. Yeah, that last fight.
What about Eddie Hills? You know, with putting him signing Wilder to put him in with Zhang. I mean, this is how I look at it, right? Eddie Hills it's like he's been signing anybody just to stay in mix. It's like a men job, isn't it? Just to get this 5-5 going on. I mean, Ergovic's not with him, is he? I mean, he's brought Ammo Williams to the table for Shiraz. That's a yank. that Ray Ball, Nick Ball, Ray Ford thing. Which one's which on that? Which one's Eddie's? Wilder picked him for one fight, but Wilder can't stand him. They reckon Bivol wants away. You know, so when you look at it, really, Eddie's like lucky to be at the table, isn't he?
Nah, he's hanging on there. He's Eddie rent a fighter Hills. He's just renting fighters, isn't he?
Yeah. Doing, isn't it?
Nick Ball's a Bricktop fighter, so the other boy must be Eddie Hill's fighter.
Hey?
Nick Ball's a Bricktop fighter, isn't he? So the other guy must be Eddie Hill's.
Well, we're going to see, aren't we? But all in all, it's just all that show is, in my opinion, it's no different to what Bricktop, Aram, and King were putting on years ago. You know, they haven't done no like that for a bit because, you know, they've not had it's not been like that, has it, boxing for a while?
No.
But as far as I'm concerned, they were putting shows like that on years ago. But people are losing the shit over the show, aren't they? People like the Gad and Puppy Parsons and all these lickers in the media. Absolute lickers. Grown men licking male arsehole.
I mean, Don King, used to put cards on with like 5 world title fights and stuff like that way back, didn't he?
Yeah, I mean, look at Bricktop, some shows. Look at that full Monty in '97 on my birthday up at Sheffield. That were a great show, that. Do you know what I mean? So I look at it. But
when I went to see Mike Tyson fight at Hampden, I think it was 2000, I think it was, when he fought Lou Savaris. There's a lot of title fights on that. So Junior Witter was fighting Zab Judah. That was a world title fight. And I think Robin Reed, Silvio Branco it might have been a lesser world title at WBU or something like that, but that was a title fight. And I think there was British heavyweight title fights. Cruiserweight, was it Bruce Scott? Fought somebody else on that as well. There was quite a lot. There's 12 fights on that card. I think you told me that Bombay Dave got knocked out in 1 round or something that card.
yeah, that was in Scotland. That because my mate Matt, who works at Chris Medley's gym, went and sat with Bombay Dave, and he said, "Are you all?" Because he was helping, he was training, and Matt was a young amateur. He said, "You all right, Dave? Oh, I'm gutted for you." And he went, "Get away from me! Get away from me!" Like that, right? Nasty little small man syndrome, isn't that right, Bombay Dave? Come see me. You know, my little lad will punch you upside down. And he's got autism and he'll still do you. Better Beef against Bivol. What do you think to that?
That's a good fight, eh? I've got Better Beef.
Hey?
Better Beef, he's going to beat him in my book. Better Beef, I don't see anybody beating Better Beef at the moment. And he's getting on a bit, eh? Could he get old overnight? But
yeah, no.
He looked pretty good the last time we seen him, eh? But he's like Usyk, isn't he? He's trained religiously and he's disciplined. That's the key word, isn't it? Discipline.
If you were going to sign any fighter and you were a promoter, you'd have Usyk, Better Beef, I know you, Crawford. You'd have people like that, wouldn't you?
Ah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey?
The top of the tree, aren't they, guys?
Of course they are, mate. Top of the trees, aren't they? Topperoonies. That's what they are, mate. The Topperoonies. They're the top boys. None of them have done for doping, have they? Hey?
And actually, it annoys me when, was it Tony Belly was on about? Remember there was a non-specific finding or something with Better Beef, and then they started trying to create a narrative that he'd been on something. It was a lot of nonsense.
Listen, Tony Bellew, right, is going to go into bat for, ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths. It's the Smiths. It's Rotunda. You can't go against the Rotunda. All best fighters in the world are from the Rotunda. We've got poor Smigger Smig from the Rotunda. What did he do? We've got Tony the Bell End, never beat a champion. We've got Swifty Smith, wasn't he a world champion? You know, the Rotundas, where it's at. Natasha Jonas is best fighter to come out of Rotunda. You can't go against the Smiths. Can't do it, mate. It's the Beatles, the boxing, didn't you know? Smiths! They've done everything, haven't they? They've left with the sport, especially Callum and Beefy with millions, and done what? Who've they beat? Mediocre Euro level, a lot of them. But they've been matched through choppy water, and they've got. Listen, they need to go around there and kneel before Joe Gallagher at Champs Camp and say, "Do you know what, Joe? Sorry about that." That's what they need to do. The Smiths. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, the Smiths. Remember we all bought into it? The Smiths with Callum Smith. You're going to go through weights like Tommy Earns, wasn't he? That's what Eddie Hill said, didn't he? Had us all shaking in our beds. We've never been scared since he started telling us big truck stories about David Price. He was like Godzilla, wasn't he? Godzilla going through New York City, wasn't he, with his head leaning into Empire State Building, everybody scared in the bed. That was big pricey, wasn't it? Heir apparent. Remember that, heir apparent? Remember what he said, don't you? Tony the Bellend. David Price is the heir apparent to the Klitschko's.
Klitschko's, that's right.
What happened then, Tony? Property pop.
He got ruined, didn't he, with that Tony Thompson malarkey?
Yeah, what did he do? When I said, don't put him in with him again, he went to put him in with him again. That man ruined him. Instead of what? Building his confidence back up, like Dennis did with Dave Starry when he beat Clinton. They built Clinton's confidence back up. And then he went on a run, didn't he? Won world title, held it over for a year. That's how you manage a fighter and guide them. Did Dennis put him back in with Dave Starry? No, did he yet? Because if he did, it would have finished him, wouldn't it, if he'd have lost again?
Yeah.
Maloney wasn't bothered, just wanted the money. That's all Maloney were bothered about. Money.
Yeah.
And power. Little weasel, ain't you, Maloney? You little wrong'un. Tell the truth about Gary Sykes' belt, Carol Maloney. You dirty wrong'un. Sees Alpha Barrett done Gill, didn't he, in 10th round? What do you think to that, Andy?
That was a good fight, wasn't it? I thought Gill done well up until that. But I tell you what, he showed a bit of gumption getting up off the floor for that body shot, and he wasn't there to lie down, was he? So, I thought it was a decent fight. I thought Gill done better than I expected him to do. But Barrett's a good operator. But I mean, Gill had centre ring for a lot of the fight, didn't
he? Yeah, it's yeah. But this is how I look at it, right? Why have you got Ben Davidson and that Barry the Bacon and that Lee Wiley old fox running around going on about breaking boxing down and 17 whatever's this and blah 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 and do this and do that and game plan? Look, boxing's a pretty simple sport, Andy. Try and punch your opponent and try not to get punched. Be super fit to see where it takes you. But you've got all these tactical breakdowns on these people that have been training people 2 minutes. All of a sudden, they're these fucking experts, aren't they? Do you see where I'm coming from? But they're not experts, are they? Because these guys just got ice.
Want to be technical wizards, eh? But no.
Hey?
They want to be technical wizards, don't they? Try to make it look complicated. Try to baffle people with would-be science, but
yeah.
Sometimes the old school ways are the best ways, isn't it?
You what, Paul?
Sometimes the old school ways are the best ways. Eh?
Yeah, totally agree, Andy. Right, let's move on then. Keith Thurman, right? You know my opinion on Keith Thurman. They keep wheeling him out, this big yank. Yeah, what did he win back in day? A regular belt. Manny Pacquiao took him out, didn't he, when he was an old man? Yeah? Do we agree on that? Yeah. Right. So Keith Thurman, why is it? Every time there's going to be a fight, they always wheel him out, and look what happens nearer to it. He pulls out, doesn't he?
Mm.
What is going on with him? Why don't he just piss off?
Needs to retire, eh?
You know what I mean? Freaks me out, Andy.
Yeah.
But he does, honestly, it does me in that Keith Thurman. He does me nothing, mate. He doesn't even fight anybody, does he? He's like Big John Fury, isn't it? Big man, on the hard road. Do you know what I mean?
When's Max having a fight?
Max is on Dennis's Malta show. He's telling people, but I've heard he is now. So,
all right.
Listen, Max will figure it all out for himself. He keep paying his 700 out every year and not getting a fight. We can be known as Max the Boxer then, can't he? If the phone rings, you never know. He might get a lot. He might get a quick 7-8 grand to go somewhere and get put on bottom moon. It'll cost him 7-8 grand to get back down from moon, though, won't it? You know what I mean?
I'd like to see him have a fight anyway and just see how he gets on. Test himself.
What? You are?
I'd like to see him test himself, having a proper fight.
Well, listen, first of all, let's just break it down, right? Max came to me, didn't he? Right? He wanted to knock about with me. He wanted to be a boxer, didn't he? Right? Fair enough. So what did I do? Got him a trainer, yeah? Chris Smedley. Right. Day one, what happened? He said, can I stop at your house tonight, Chris? Because I'm doing a mini camp, right? Chris goes, yeah, of course you can, Max. So we stayed with him and Joanne, yeah? Chris goes, 10 o'clock at night, door's gone. But what's going on here? Max went, oh, don't worry, it'll be for me. I've ordered a pizza. So, day one in camp. So what do you think happened? So Chris has rung me and said, Max stayed last night. So, all right, how's training going, Chris? Everything all right? Well, what it is, Max ordered a pizza on first night. So he didn't leave he didn't leave Chris thinking he's going to win British title, did he? Well, all I wanted to do was help Max. Because you know what I'm like, Andy, don't I? I like to put people together. If they can't make music, that's not my problem, is it? They're not in it for me. But Max came to me, didn't it? And to be fair, he went out and got all the gear, but he's got no idea. Do you know what I mean? So he ain't going out and buying a 650 quid head guard, right? What good is that? If your big telly head only just fits in it, you know what I mean? So after that, he went. We got him training with Julian. Then he went over and sparred at Nick Manners. So he's on third trainer then. So they put him in with Torrance, right? And non-bouter. What did he do to Max? He put Max on bottom moon. But Max got, to be fair, he turns up for his battles and he's a trier. Yep. And I like him and he's loyal. He'll not let you down. If you had any beef, Max would be there backing you up. But I don't think he's going to make it as a boxer. I think you get hurt. And I think Dennis knows that as well. So how's he going to match him? How can he match him? I'm not there to match him, so I can't help him. But if I were going to match him, you're going to have to look at lower tier. So I don't know how Dennis is going to get him out. He might have to get him out in like a bit of an exhibition or a bit of a spar or something, just to get him under lights. But if you're going to be walking around with a big derby on you, what good is that? If I'm 53 in the morning and I'm up pounding streets at 6 a.m, why can't Max at 36?
Yeah.
Tell me, Andy. So he's not a boxer, is he? Is he attending the gym or is he putting the sessions in? If you go to the gym for a session, right, a boxer's session, it's 1 hour, yeah? You're training for 1 hour. That's it. You're a young lad. Can you imagine if... You know Dave Allen, when he were at Dennis's, yeah? We're on £1 a month, £2.5 grand a fight, couldn't get out of bed to go to the gym. You would have said that to me when I left school. Listen, we're going to get a working man's wage to go to work for him every month to just go to gym, Ross. I go, you having a laugh? I'll do it for free. Just don't make me go down pit. Do you know what I mean? I would have done it. And you stick to it. So it's not for everybody. If you can't train, you're not a boxer. You know, world champions don't miss a session. You know them that do miss sessions, they're not boxers. They're just attending gym. I ain't got time for them, mate. You Liam Camerons and that. Well, what's all that about? Clinton, I can't train. Clinton, why? Dropped a tin of beans on my foot, Clinton, but I'll be in tomorrow at phone down. Clinton, 5 minutes later, walked straight in his house. Showed me a tin of beans. Couldn't find a tin of beans in his house. All the other cans of Stella. There were all the cans in the house, mate. There are no fucking tins of beans. See where I'm coming from? Do you think Clinton hadn't heard all that? Clinton's been a world champion of the bit, every excuse. But he won't have missed a session.
No.
Because he won't like that.
He's proper old school hardcore fighter, Clinton, wasn't it?
Old school, mate. World champion over 3 years. He had the same reign of terror as Mike Tyson, but no hype. Same length of time holding belt, but he never had the first time around. You know when he beat Burbick, didn't he, Mike Tyson? Yeah. But look, it's an hard game as it is. But half the problem's boxers because they don't want to put effort in. Listen, Dennis told me years ago, listen, problem's not the promoters, it's the boxers. I used to go, yeah. When I first started, it's how all for boxers, one, and I still am. Boxers need paying was my motto. Got to be paid. But the majority of the boxers, they want to cheat and cut corners. And people are putting money up for them for these shows, Andy. If I'm putting 10 grand into a show, yeah, small old show, and you're on show, yeah, and you're not putting effort in, and I'm putting money into that show, I'm investing in you. If you don't get up, Andy, right, and perform that night because you're not fit, that's your problem. That also becomes my problem as well, doesn't it? Because I'm putting the dough up. You see where I'm coming from? So I look at it from both sides. It took me ages to see that. Because everybody that used to come into that office up there, they all used to be on edge. They're all on guard because they think they're getting shafted. When usually 9 times out of 10 we know what goes on, don't we? Do you know what I mean?
There's no shortcuts to success, is there?
No shortcuts. And half of them, if they would have listened to Dennis, they would have been world champions. But if you can't put the effort in, what's the point? If Max is walking around with a flabby belly, but he's an heavyweight boxer, is that good or bad?
Bad.
You've seen shape I'm in now. If I were to walk around as a boxer in my shorts now, you'd say he looks well, don't you? He's not in fight fit, but he's fit, wouldn't you? Would you say Max is fight fit or out of shape? He's out of shape.
I've not seen him for a long time, so I don't know what he looks like.
He's out of shape, but I keep getting on at him about it. And he keeps saying, well, if Big Fraser 18 stone, he'd have won, and this and that. Well, what about you, Max? What about you? When you're busting scales at 20 clementines? How can you get out of the way of a shot, Andy, when you're 20 stone? I know because I've been that weight. I know what it's like. I can get out of that way now because there's no on me. And I can land them. But I couldn't at that weight, could I? Because you can't get that way. You're going to get it and you can't hit them. So that weight's a nightmare. Do you know what Terry Curran said to me a few weeks ago? He used to play for Wednesdays, didn't he, in United? I went down to Terry Curran's with dripping tap for a cuppa. And he says to me, and this is true, he goes, this is in Southampton. He goes, do you know what it is, Russ? Do you know that weight? That's what does footballers in. Carrying that weight's no good. Because you can't get about. He was a winger, wasn't he? Flying winger, wasn't he, Terry Curran? If you can't get about, it's no good, is it? You can't move, can you? How could Max get out of the way of some shots if Wardley started opening up on him? Or Solomon Dakras? Because there were a bit of talk about Max going in with Solomon Dakras. How would Max be able to get out of the way of them punches? He'd try and slip him, wouldn't he, and put his hand up to parry him. But as soon as the kid changed angles, Max would have to change with his feet. It'd be all over, wouldn't it? It'd be, ask Julian, mate, it'd be over in seconds. So that weight's no good. So I say to all you boxers out there, if you're fat, get rid of that fat because you're no good. It's poison to your body. Or if you get on the scales and you think, well, I'm only 10 pound overweight, go and get a 10 pound dumbbell, put it in a rucksack and go for a run. That's what it's like doing it. That's what it's like carrying that weight on top of what your body, what your frame's carrying it for. Like James Toney. He was a middle body, James Toney. We all respected him when he beat Holyfield, didn't we, for the world title? But he lost it on a cocaine decision, didn't he? He lost the belt after the fight. But Tony still weren't getting out of way of punches because he was carrying too much weight on a smaller frame, wasn't he? But he had enough about him to see Holyfield off, didn't he? Right?
Yeah.
He was coked up. But
hugely skillful, eh?
Very skillful, James Toney. But the point I want to make is, if you're going to carry that weight up through the weights, but it's like flab and not fitness weight. You've done it properly. You're not going to be able to get out of that way. Could Seb Cole put a stone on and win Olympics? No, he couldn't, because it'd be too heavy, wouldn't he? So that weight kills them all. And all these fighters that get to 30 and suddenly decide, oh, I'm not a welterweight no more. I'm going to move up. I'm now a light middle or super welter. They're going to move up and put, that extra 7 pound on, right? But what tells them to do that when they're 30? All of a sudden, do they decide that, oh, I'm a bigger person now? No, it's because they can't take the fucking weight off. You see where I'm coming from? That's what.
Then their mind will be writing checks that their body can't cash, eh?
You are.
I remember their mind will be writing checks that their body can't cash. I remember, I think it was a charity football match one time. When my young lad was playing in a junior football team, kids football team, and there was all the parents were playing, but I remember running down the wing and trying to cross the ball, and it just wasn't happening.
Oh, but it carried too much timber.
I would have been, but I hadn't done anything like that for a long, long time. My legs just wouldn't do what I was wanting them to do.
Yeah, that's what happens. I remember as I made my debut, I think, when I was 13, for Yorkshire Main men's cricket team, and I remember running in between wickets, and I remember coming off after, and my dad said to me, "You're carrying too much weight to be running in between wickets." So what do you mean? I were quicker than them? Yeah, but you're a young lad. You should be quicker than that. You know, you should be forcing when you're getting frees on a long boundary, but you should be running forward. My dad used to say to me, and getting that forward. Do you know what I mean? Because I was carrying too much timber. I was probably 13 stone then as a 13-year-old. My dad saying you should have been 11, so I had to take it off. You know, the weight. We're a killer, no gastric bands then. And that weight it's a nightmare in all sports, even snooker. Bill Werbeneck never won now, did he? Because he was big and fat. You know what I mean?
Handicap, isn't it? It's a handicap you can do without.
Correct. Okay. Canelo, he's fighting Munguia on 4th. Andy, point I want to make is this, right? He should really be fighting Benavidez, doesn't it? I think Munguia does in me. I'm going to put a bet on Munguia. But he really, really should be fighting Benavidez, shouldn't he, Canelo? How much longer is he going to swerve him? What do you think?
Is he shouting for 200 million or something? That's basically pricing himself. What's he going?
200 mil.
He's pricing himself at the park, isn't he? That tells you he's not going to fight him, eh?
Yeah, not going to fight him at all, mate.
He's on the slide. I think he's on the slide, Canelo, anyway. I think he's had quite a long career, hasn't he? And there's been fights when he's the latter part of the fight, he's starting to look a bit lackluster compared to what he used to look like.
Technically, there's 6 blemishes on his record. That's the bottom line. 6 or 7 blemishes on his record. He's got away with murder, and what's he had? $450 million out of job so far, they're saying, aren't they? So he's had it off, hasn't he, Canelo?
Aye, yeah.
What do you think to Bricktop's spat with Yard?
Aye. I don't like seeing stuff like that. I mean, Bricktop says Yard's been badly advised, but that's his side. I haven't heard Yard's side of the story yet. But
Sunday's doing a lot of chat behind the scenes. They reckon it's him that split them up, don't they?
Right. He seemed to get on well with Bricktop, didn't he? From what I could tell previously, but I think Bricktop's done well for him getting on world title fights.
No disrespect, right? Listen, this is what they've done. It's the Bricktop way, innit? They get him that WBO. They go the WBO route, don't they? Right? They don't fight anybody. They get him in position, then they go for world title. Yard's a 2-time loser, in it, world title level. He's done no else, has he? Right?
Yeah.
But he did all right in them fights, but we're out in his depth, wasn't he? Right. Now, where does Yard go now, and does he win anything? Because he's never won out, has he? Really, he's not won a British, has he?
No.
So where does Yard go now? It's only Sky, isn't it? Really, he can go to, isn't he?
Yeah.
Can't go to Eddie because Eddie's working with Bricktop, and Bricktop will cut him off. So there's only Sky. It's the only dance in town, isn't there, for him?
Eddie and Bricktop are now one.
Well, they are, aren't they? Because what they're doing, Eddie's sat next to Frank, and they're both giving each other a reach around. Well, that's what it's called, isn't it? Do they call it a reach around in Scotland? And I don't know what do they call it.
Probably, yeah.
What do they call it in Scotland? Tea towel turkeys in middle. You got Frank on one and Eddie at other, and it's a full-on reach around. Already had holding hands. So if they're holding hands, the next step up from holding hands is what? A reach around.
Downhill skiing, eh?
We know a song about that, don't we?
Triple T's maybe downhill skiing, you know.
Triple T could be a little bit fruity. You never know, do you? What about Eubank saying he's a free agent and Callum Montana saying he ain't?
Oh, is that another dispute going on?
Hey?
Is that what's been holding up Eubank doing anything? Has he been trying to get away from Cali Montana?
I don't know, but Kyle's saying, nah, you're not a free agent, you son. And Eubank's like, I am. Eubank's always battling with promoters, and they all listen. Tell me a promoter that hadn't fell out with a boxer. Tell me a promoter who hadn't fell out with a boxer. Clinton and Dennis, they fell out.
Yeah.
And look what they did together. Clinton, British Commonwealth, area, British Commonwealth, European and World Champion for a year. There were no English belt then. So Clinton, clean sweep, had a great career. Got out with his brains intact, set up for life. Him and Big Ron don't speak. Alf Roch and Mick Hennessy don't speak. Listen, tell me a promoter, right, who still gets on with somebody, a promoter. Look at Naz. He fell out with Bricktop. Yeah. I know the mates now and that, but they fell out.
Yeah.
Just how it is.
Calzaghe
fell out with Mickey Duff, then he fell out with Bricktop, they ended up in court.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of them things, isn't it? But
it seems to happen, eh?
Yeah, but getting back to Anthony Yard, listen, as far as I'm concerned, I think Yard at the top level is spent. His forte now is hoovering up as much as he can, domestic level and European level. I don't think he beats Bivol or Better Beef. They tear him apart, mate. He's way, way, way below that, but he's set up for life financially, Yard, so that's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's good. What do you think to all the chat about Usyk and Fury being cancelled and Joshua Usyk free?
That's a waste. That's
chit chat, isn't it?
Pointless, isn't it? That's just pointless.
Yeah, it's absolute pointless. All right then, mate. You want to go into part 3?
Yeah, I'll go on to that. I'm getting a bit weary. I need to get my bed, but
go on then, part